Hello, everyone. My name is Ethan, and today I'm going to be starting a podcast series, I think, maybe called OOpS. Uh, this is, of course, in reference to the fact that through my entire life, I've always been told that I have been overly opinionated about something, regardless of the topic or whatever it is. And so today, just because I wasn't doing anything very important, I just thought I'd start a podcast for no reason. And I'm not really going to like modify or like cut or do all the fancy stuff to make it sound nice. I'm just going to speak for I guess 30 minutes and just see how it goes. Um, I guess I'm going to maybe use this as a sort of like I don't know therapy session or like diary or some sorts or just a way to get all of my thoughts outside of my brain because through the hardships of the pandemic that many people are facing. My personal hardship, I guess, is I guess being lonely. But I've been lonely for a while, which I guess we can talk about. So let's go. So for today's podcast, I guess I'm going to start by talking about empathy. Um, Empathy is something that I think a lot of people are struggling with right now during the pandemic, and I guess maybe something that I can help shed some light on, I guess. Um, Empathy is something that I think I've felt my entire life. Um, I've tried to, be there for people when I need when they need me to be, or whenever I feel like they need help, things like that. But the idea of empathy is somewhat vague in my mind. It's more of a feeling rather than just like a concept or a topic of discussion, which makes this, I guess, a bad choice for our first episode, but nonetheless, I'm going to do it. Um, so I was having a back during the school year, I had a conversation with one of my roommates about how I feel empathy for people. And one of the things that I touched upon was creating a wall. There's always a wall between me and someone else. I feel like it's an imaginary wall. And like any other wall, it needs to have supports. It needs to have, concrete poles. It needs to have, um, like things to make it stand up correctly. Imagine, I guess, maybe when you're going to the theater, watching a theater play, and you see the backdrop, and it's painted on one side. It looks like like it's designed to where it looks like it's like 3D. You can look out into the vast part of the wall, of the design on the wall. But on the back side of it, it's held by little railings or little, bags of weight that keep it from falling over. And for me, whenever I feel my emotions towards someone, let's say I get very angry at them, for me, the wall has those things. It has the railings that are pushed up against it to keep it sturdy. It has the concrete, poles, and it has the bags of weight trying to, keep the wall sturdy enough so I can feel my emotions without getting hurt. And through empathy, I guess, the wall, when I feel it from other people, when I feel anger, I guess from other people, those things aren't there. The wall is just it's just standing there. It's like it's a brick structure, just put together brick by brick. There's holes in it. You can see through it. It's not very well designed. It's not very well laid out. And so, for me, as I guess an aspiring young adult, those things have been crucial in determining my own anger, my own frustrations, or my own interests or my sadness, happiness, all those things. If I know that if the wall is not there, if those structures keeping up the wall are not there, then it's most likely not my real emotions. Um, the point in which I'm talking about this, I guess I didn't explain very well, is empathy is the idea that you feel for another person. It's not sympathy. It's that you truly feel like in your heart and soul the emotions that someone else is feeling. And through my life, I think that one of the ways that it's been hard for me to connect with people is because that wall has always been set up. I guess maybe as a kid, the constant walls of like, is this my emotion? Is this someone else's emotion? How am I feeling these feelings? Why am I feeling these feelings? Was always a struggle. So I've always tried to stay away from people and and in turn, I guess, created my own version of loneliness and, self fortitude and acting like a hermit, some would say now. Um, but I was watching this really interesting YouTube video the other day about, like what truly is empathy, and what are the notes that I took upon, that I wrote down, was the idea of relational empathy, and it relates emotions from another's position to my own emotional experiences, and then therefore I determine based on relative experiences what that emotion should be or is in relation to my own bias. So, for example, when I look at someone and I feel anger coming from them, it's it's kind of weird because they I have no idea why they're angry, but I just get so angry from them being angry. And the wall, although it's there, it's already built, so I can't tear it down, unless I break down all these different things, unless I go get a sledgehammer of my own thoughts trying to tear the wall down. So one of the things that relational empathy does, it makes connections in my mind of being, okay, well, they're angry, therefore they're angry because of this and this reason, or they're angry because maybe I did something, or they're angry because I did this or that. And um, excuse me, let me just read this. Yeah, so based on those actions of what I think they might have done, I have created a relative emotion for what I think they are experiencing. That's a little bit convoluted. Um, but let's say, like, if I was a child and then I stubbed my toe and I know the feeling of that, maybe I would relate my feeling of what I felt to them in that certain situation. And maybe they act as if, they're feeling as if they stubbed their toe, metaphorically. I'm not very sure about it right now. I'm still trying to figure out a lot about like versions of empathy and versions of trying to understand someone through their own eyes, as I think many humans should do, and it's hard for people to do. Um, and yeah, um, the next thing I guess I want to talk about is this book called The Infinite Noise by Lauren Shippen. It's actually become one of my favorite books right now. I don't know when it was made. Probably it has to be been made around like the past 2 or 3 years. It's probably not very old, and it's about relationship between two high school boys, of course. Uh, you know, me being the member of the LGBTQ community. Um, and it's about one person who has like a superpower, I guess, of empathy. And this guy, he tries to go through his days where he doesn't try and experience anyone else's feelings, but it's really, really hard to. For example, like, in high school, there's so many emotions going around, whether it be, puberty or love or relationships or, any kind of thing, like struggles in schools, struggles at home. So many of those emotions can get wrapped up inside your brain. And that's similar to the way I felt whenever I was in school, where constantly the reason why I didn't like to be around people, or the reason why I tried to have a small friend group, or the reason why I guess maybe I tried to disassociate myself from certain, like places or people or things, is because the emotions of those people were just too strong and I couldn't deal with them. That being said, there is, of course, a little bit of like, because it is a fantasy book and a fictional book about how he relates to sort of these feelings. He relates it to colors, which I think is also really an interesting topic that I'm also going to talk about with me as well. He relates people's emotions to colors, where the person he likes, because it's also about a love story, the person he likes always has a blue sort of ocean wave calming effect. But the character has very like severe depression, and it's not a sort of blue that feels like it's too dark and too scary. It's this sort of calming blue where where that person's emotions are always calm. They're always, because that person, because the love interest is like, sort of depressed. their emotions are always muted. And honestly, like, it sounds like a dream for me. um, because the idea that like I don't have to constantly be experiencing other people's emotions 24/7, and the idea that I could just be with someone and be calm, their calmness reflected back onto me would make me, subconsciously calm. Sounds amazing. And one of the reasons why I like the book so much is because it really talks about the fact that, if this person goes out into like the main character is a football player, which I think is very interesting because I've never really, like, I don't have a lot of experience with like football or sports or things like that. When he goes to play, the emotions of his like I was about to say colleagues, but his I really don't know sports. His teammates, they're always angry because they're playing sports and they always have to hit people, I guess, or always have to be constantly on the move or running from something. Um, they're always just so angry, and it makes him angry for no reason, and he starts to lash out at people. Um, versus as the person he likes, as the love interest, everything is muted. He can finally sit down and experience the world through a lens that isn't scary anymore, a lens that isn't forcing him to feel this or that. It's just truly allowing him to be himself, and I think that's really important. I really like the way Lauren Shippen, the author, they integrated not only a love story but with like a next level idea of what emotions could be. I think that's also very important. And a next level experience of like the human experience, for example. That's also another big issue that I think was really cool and talked about in the book. And yeah, so at this point, I wanted to shift gears because I don't want to be talking about the same thing for 30 minutes. So I'm going to pause for a moment and then I will figure out another topic to talk about and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. It was probably just a moment for you, but I spent like 5 minutes thinking about the topic. And I realized that I said I was going to talk about sympathy, or no, excuse me, synesthesia, which was something like seeing the colors of this and that earlier in the conversation. So I think I'll continue. So synesthesia, it's kind of a weird and fantastical and mesmerizing and really cool idea of how people perceive the world through different colors, sounds, noises and sounds are the same thing, but noises and touch, smell, um, all those things are just connected. And I found before just researching little bits here and there that a lot of musicians actually have this like ability, like the synesthesia ability, like it's a superpower. And for example, I think there was one person like Billie Eilish, which is like like a very like hot and cool topic to reference with all the kids listening. Um, what she does is she uses her synesthesia to map out the connections between music and I guess maybe like notes or sounds, and that's why her music is so good is because she can I guess connect things that most normal I quote normal people cannot experience. Um, and I guess I can talk about my experience with synesthesia. So for me, I've always done it. It's kind of like the idea of like, um, like you've always known you're gay on the inside if you didn't even know the word, or like you've always known that you like this without even understanding why. It's just always something a part of like your soul or your personality that you've always understood to be true, but you don't have the words to explain it. Um, I didn't really understand what it was until recently, maybe like 2 years ago in college. And um, one of the things that kind of sparked it was, I think, um, mm, this is a little bit interesting to talk about, but I think one of the things that really got me like understanding it was when I started to learn languages, like more and more, like importantly, like more and more like as a future job, like as a career, as like a major focus of academia and things like that. Major academic focus, excuse me. And um, one of the things that I started to notice was in English through my entire life, every letter has a color. That's what synesthesia does. It relates colors to like letters, for example, or it relates colors to smells. Like for example, the color brown smells like, earth and dirt, or the color purple smells like lilacs. Simple things like that. But for people who have synesthesia, it's a constant thing. And so for me, when learning English at such a young age, through my entire life, um, I started to connect letters to colors. So, for example, the easiest example, uh, my name, for example, is Ethan. The E is a green color, the T is a yellow color, the H is a brown color, the A is a red color, and the N is a black color. So, how it all kind of morphs together is it's kind of like a blend. Imagine if you're on, like, I guess maybe like Photoshop or like Word, or like a painting application, and you plus press like the blur button, and you blur it across. Imagine you had all those colors, the green, the yellow, the brown, the red, the black, and you got the blur feature, and you just blurred it once. That's kind of what it looks like in my brain, where it's not it's not like fonts. It's not like the color when you type. If you're typing, like, and if you type each letter out, it's not one singular color, like boom, 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 boom. It's kind of like a flowing a flowing blur, I guess. um, and so that was always really interesting. And whenever I started to learn languages more like officially, I noticed I could do it also with other languages as well. I know there's a lot of people who don't, like, are not learning the languages that I'm learning. So, for example, like the letter in Japanese, there's like a sound called ah. Like, every, like English has the sound ah too, but just for reference, I guess like maybe like Atari, like the game console, like the gaming brand Atari. The A is red, the T is yellow, and the A is red, and then the R is black, and then the I is white. And so I started to associate those colors. So it's like like a blurry reddish, whitish blackish color. And then whenever I learned like kanji, for example, which is the character system for Japanese, I was able to remember that character in how it was said, I guess, and how it was written in my brain with the colors associated to that character. And for Chinese, for example, um, I don't know, like the word for shui, like water. Um, the S, because of the way it's written in pinyin, which is like I guess, which is the like I forgot the word. I should have. My professors would be so upset that I forget the word for how to explain this. It's just using it's Romanized. It's the Romanized version of how it might sound to like a Western speaker or a Western listener. Um, and so it's SHUI for shui. It's water, and so the S is yellow, the H is brown, and the U is like a purplyish, pinkish, reddish, and then the I is white. But the other thing is that the character itself doesn't look like that pinkish reddish. It's water, so in my brain it relates to the color blue. So it's a light color blue in the character form, but in the written out form it's something completely different, which is incredibly strange and weird, but something I guess many people who have synesthesia often have to deal with. Um, it's kind of difficult to explain, and I understand that maybe it's not the best topic to talk about, but it's just something interesting, and I thought would be really cool to talk about. And for example, the word empathy that we talked about earlier. The E is green, the M is blue, the P is purple, the A is red, and the T is yellow, the H is brown, and the Y is white. And so the word empathy has so many different colors in it. It creates such a wonderful rainbow of colors. And for me, it really feels much more than just a word. It feels like a feeling. The word empathy feels like a feeling, and that's why I guess maybe that's also something that I do with words. Is That's another part of synesthesia, is relating feelings to words or letters or numbers. Like the number 7 could be like a brutish, you know, mean gentleman, or the letter 9 could be a woman, who is lovely and dandy and cares about everything that she does with such great passion. Um, And so maybe words also have certain feelings that are associated with them. Um, one of the things that I absolutely hate, I guess, like hate, one of the words is clearance. um, spelled like for the name, but I guess also for like the store when you go to a store and it's like clearance, like everything's on clearance or like on sale. That that name is just so utterly disgusting, and I don't know why. I cringe when I hear that name, or when I hear like when I go into a store and I read the word clearance, it just it gives me shivers. Um, and the reason why is just such a ugly, muted, like dirty color. I don't know how else to explain it. The word. Um, it has a bunch of yellowish, dark brown, just grimy, like sewagey type of color. Um, and whenever I hear the word clearance, I just feel like someone's like pricking the back of my neck. I don't know why. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe I died from someone named Clarence. Someone named Clarence killed me in a past life. I don't know, something. Um, but yeah, that's a little bit on synesthesia and empathy. Um, I have a few more minutes remaining, so I thought I'd just give me one more second and I'll find one quick topic to talk about as something that is a little bit fun and not so serious for the first episode. All right, I waited like 2 seconds. Let's talk about tea because I'm trying to become a tea person, and honestly, I don't like it. And I'm trying to force myself to drink tea because I want to be like, like super trendy, and love tea and I like, I love feeling the naturalness of the tea, consume my body and revitalize my energies and my chakras and whatever. Um, but it's just really nasty. The only teas that I like are like fruity teas and like berry type things or beverages, ones that have like a citrus flavor. All the ones like green tea or matcha or like black tea or excuse me, Earl Grey tea or things like that. It just tastes like dirt. And like not even good dirt. It just tastes like someone just took a handful of like the nasty like if you go to an old tree, right? Uh it's like the top soil layer dirt that's just like dry. And like if you pick up like if you know those little rocks that are just made out of dirt and somehow it's clumped together by something, but if you press it, it like breaks into a million pieces. It feels and tastes like that. And I just can't get into it. And I'm going to try my best to in the future because I want to be that type of person that enjoys tea. But I feel like it's just such a waste of time to enjoy tea. I don't know. Because like water, right? It's essentially just flavored water. It is literally just flavored water. And I I just don't know how to feel about it because why would I drink water that has dirt in it? It's just that's my mentality. And I just want to like relax and enjoy a cup of tea, but here's the thing also, I hate hot stuff. Like I hate hot drinks. Like whenever I get my food, I do not eat it when it first comes out. I always wait like maybe like 5 minutes for it to cool down to like lower than room temperature. Maybe around room temperature. If I say lower than room temperature, people are gonna think I'm weird. I'll just say room temperature. And what I do is I just constantly like I don't want to drink hot shit. Like I'm sorry, like I don't. Like I guess I'm from the South and it's always hot. I want to drink cold stuff, but here's the thing: cold tea tastes nasty. It tastes as if someone took like when you go to the doctor and they use those little things to put down your tongue so they can see in the back of your throat. Imagine using a metal one, right? And you taste that metally taste. That's what it feels like whenever I drink cold tea. I guess maybe like the iron in the water. I don't know. Something overpowers the flavor of the tea. It just doesn't taste good. So cold tea don't taste good, and I don't want to drink hot tea. What can I do to drink tea? I can't do anything. So that's my current dilemma. Um, and I've asked people for Christmas during COVID, by people, I just mean my stepmom and my mom, to get me tea so I can try it out. But here's the thing, I'm not looking forward to it. I mean, I am, but I'm not. I want to enjoy the tea, but I don't want to just sit there and drink tea. Like I want to be doing something cool. But I feel like the whole point of tea is to be relaxing. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. That's my own personal, like victor or something that I have to like learn about and be victorious over. Also, hold on, I have some tea right now. I'm quick. Also, one other thing, because the last 5 minutes are just rambling minutes. We'll do that for every episode. The last 5 minutes are just for rambling, and I'm drinking blueberry and green tea. It's supposed to be like, I don't know, help you lose weight or whatever, and I think it maybe is helping. I'm trying to like, get fit, live the, live the fit life, drink good things for you, eat good things. So just for the people who enjoy tea, let me give you some ASMR. Hold on. Okay, I hope you liked it. Anyway, I have 30 seconds left. So to end this episode, thank you for just listening. You don't have to. This is just for me. If you want me to, if you want to, you can send me some suggestions. But like I said, this is just for rambling. And like I said, the whole point of this podcast is like, oops, for me to be overly opinionated about something, which is essentially just what the last 5 minutes were. So if you enjoy that, please listen more. But if not, you don't have to. All right, well, have a good day.